All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Wellness Coalition here. My name is Derek Thompson Estia, and I teach people how to make healthy cooking on the go especially for this theme. Our company is called Life Changing Dinners. Have a dinner with us. It will be life-changing. And let's go around and introduce everybody else. Dr. Krisha Olson, do you want to introduce yourself first and we'll go around?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Krisha Olson. I'm a naturopathic physician and licensed acupuncturist. I practice at Quine Healing Arts in Northwest Portland, though I'm seeing everyone via telemedicine in Oregon, so that's an option as well. I'm actually wrapping up my Summer of Health series, which is a 13-week-long series on all things health. That's actually all available for free on my website. So if you want more information, feel free to go there. It's drkrishaolson.com. And then you just go to the VIP resource library and you'll actually find all of the past webinars that we've done here with the Wellness Coalition as well. Now, take it over, Derek.
All right. And then Ethan, do you guys want to introduce yourselves too?
Hi, yeah, my name is Ethan Childs. I'm a personal trainer as well as a nutrition coach. Lately, I've been doing a lot of in-person training now that all the gyms are open here in Oregon. Although masks are required, I'm still getting everyone up and moving. Best way, I mean, it's still summer, so just trying to get everyone outside and being active and doing something, as well as getting on top of their nutrition. All right, Derek, I'll pass it back to you.
All right. Kirsten, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, my name is Kirsten Evenson. I'm an occupational therapist and a wellness advocate for the Juice Plus and Tower Garden Company. So my mission is to help people get as many plant phytonutrients into their bodies in as many ways as we can. And in this series of Health on the Go, I've been really excited to just have encapsulated produce, essentially salad bar in a capsule, and then come home after my busy play weekends to my vertical aeroponic growing system. So I'm just so excited to be a part of this group. I feel like all of our specialty areas and focuses are so complementary, but bottom line, it's move your body more, take good care of yourself, eat more plants, surround yourself with good people, and here we are in a room of good people. So I'll send it back to you, Derek.
Awesome. Well, before we get started with our guest speaker, or like our main speaker, Melissa, I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about her. So she has been a nurse for the past 25 years, and she recently moved from Texas, and that's a sweet spot to me because that's where my parents live. And she loves everything wellness, especially preventative care versus like the reactive care. You know, and she works right now with Melaleuca, and that's what she'll be sharing with us about having health on the go. So go ahead, Melissa, and take us through it.
Thank you. And hopefully my boxer was bouncing around. I was trying to get him out of the room here, and now he's barking outside my door. So hopefully he doesn't disrupt us too much. I texted my daughter to say, come and get him, please.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he's wanting to be in here with me now this morning, but he just got up and is all excited. So that's not a good thing for being on. But thank you for having me, and I'm excited to join our Wellness Coalition here on Wednesday mornings, and enjoying being just a part of this whole team, really focused on wellness from a global perspective. And this morning, going along with our Wellness on the Go theme, I wanted to talk to the group today about the largest organ in our body, and that is our skin. We often don't think of our skin as an organ of our body. So you might have been surprised to hear that it's the largest, but sometimes we don't give it the respect that it needs to be given. So if you think about it, if we literally had our heart on our sleeve, right, our shoulder, we would treat that with different respect because we value it. But I think our skin, we're accustomed to it being visible. We're accustomed to bumping up against it and that kind of thing. And so we kind of lose focus of the importance of really taking care of our skin. But I want to talk briefly about anatomy and function, just to help us understand skin a little bit better. And then we'll go and hopefully my goal is that you take away some tips and techniques of how you can treat your skin. So there are three distinct layers to our skin: the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis. The hypodermis is the innermost layer, and that's made up of connective tissue and fat. The dermis has all of the cell follicles, sweat glands, the nerve endings, that kind of thing in it. And then the dermis is our outermost layer and our protective layer. It's the skin as a whole, all three of those layers, is about 2 millimeters thick. And to give you perspective, a nickel is 1.95 millimeters thick. So if you think about a nickel, our skin is just very slightly thicker than a nickel. So pretty thin. And if we took off all of our skin and weighed it, it would weigh about 6 pounds. For the purpose of today, I'm really focusing on its skin as a whole, but really our epidermis, because it is our first layer of defense. Defense against infection, injury, thermal regulation, so protects us from light, but it also keeps our body temperature regulated, so all of our organs can function properly together. It helps us contain water and helps our fat layer to do its job in thermal regulation. And it gathers sensory information from our surroundings, right? If we're too hot, too cold, it's that communication to our brain to help us make decisions that are healthier for us. And there are two types of epidermal skin. We have a thin, typically hairy layer, and that's on our arms and our legs. For some people, their back, but that thin layer, like over our eyelids, we don't have hair, but the skin over our eyelids and other very sensitive areas can be down to 0.05 millimeters thick. So super, super thin. And then we have a thick, hairless layer in our epidermis. And if you think of your hands, the soles of your feet, we abuse them pretty good. And so those layers are much thicker. The epidermal layer also contains melanocytes, and we hear about melanoma. And that's where skin cancer begins. But the melanocytes are in that layer to protect the other deeper layers of skin. So when we have exposures to sun, the melanocytes will expand and kind of puff up. When they do that, they get darker, and then we see, a more tanned skin. But it also, when skin is damaged, can leave those dark patches of melanin, and we see that in freckles and age spots and that kind of thing. So I want to talk now about how we can take good care. Now we know, we're reminded of the functions. Let's talk about what we do to take really good care of our skin. And I hope that you walk away, one, with a heightened awareness of what your skin is there for, and you're reminded, and that helps you take away some of the tips that I'll give you now in how to treat your skin better, so that it can do the very best job in defense for our bodies that it possibly can. So how do we do that? One, and there's no surprise here, use sunscreen, at least an SPF 15. If you smoke, don't stop smoking. Take steps to work towards stopping to smoke. Smoke inhalation of any kind interferes with the oxygen exchange and blood flow that goes to all of our organs, but for today's purposes, our skin. It damages collagen, it damages elastin, really breaks them down, and causes us to age more quickly. So we see wrinkles, we see kind of that sagging skin. So stop smoking, pamper your skin a little bit. And that doesn't mean over soaking in a tub. That's a good way to pamper yourself. But soaking like that for a long time, especially if you use water that's too hot, will actually break down that outer layer of skin and can start leading to dryness, cracked skin, and that allows infection and that kind of thing, a pathway for it to get into our body. So don't over soak. Use good, safe, non-toxic cleansers, and moisturize. So every time you shower or bathe, make sure that you moisturize afterwards. Even if you don't have a skin problem, that helps to keep our skin in good working order. And at Melaleuca, we have some great non-toxic products that I would encourage you to check out. Next tip, feed your skin from the inside out. So Derek and Kirsten can help you with this. This is increase those leafy green vegetables, carrots, fruits and vegetables that are yellow and orange, and berries and legumes like beans, peas, lentils, that kind of thing. Then if you eat meat, some good fatty fish like salmon or mackerel. And then nuts, of course, if you're vegetarian or vegan, that's a good source for good fats. And all of those are superfoods for our skin. So this is where Kirsten can give you some great products that you can really take on the go with you and increase fruits and vegetables. And of course, Derek can help you to create menus that will add those in. So if you're not a really good fruit and veggie eater, don't try to change your diet all at once. I'm never a proponent of just, making huge changes, whether that's in exercise or food or routines. Take it one step at a time, and you're going to end up being more successful in the end. So talk to Kirsten and Derek. Next tip, increase fiber. Now you do that through good, healthy fruits and vegetables in your diet. But also there are some good fiber products to really clean out your gut. Doing that will help you when you take in those good fruits and vegetables to be able to absorb all the nutrients and the good things that you're taking in. So think about good gut care. Your gut really feeds your skin. So important to take care of that also. And then hydration is key. And I'm not talking alcohol, we're talking water. So make sure that you're reaching for water. And again, if you're a carbonated soda drinker or enthusiast, replace one of those cans with an equivalent glass of water. Take those small steps to increase that water in your routine. Increase complex carbs. So not those carbohydrates that break down quickly, but that will last. They break down over time and keep your glucose level more stabilized. And that prevents you from having those peaks and valleys that cause you to reach, because you're hungry, to reach for those handy snacks that tend to be less healthy for us. And then I already talked about fatty fish. Here's another area that Kirsten can really help you. She has omega-3 supplements that are vegan. So if you are vegetarian or vegan and you try to stay away from the fatty fish, Kirsten has great products for you. And then last tip is manage stress. Stress really affects our overall health, but our skin in particular. And managing stress means to get adequate sleep. We all need, even those of us who can manage to function fine on 4 to 5 hours of sleep. We really, clinically, it's been proven that we need 7 to 8 hours of sleep at night to really rejuvenate our body. Our sleep is like the vacuum cleaner, and we can whip over the top of our carpet and get the surface cleaned really quick, but we're not going to get that deep down unless we really, vacuum properly. And sleep is the same way. It takes time overnight for all of that cleaning and detoxifying of our body to happen. And it can't happen in a shorter length of time. So minimum 7 hours of sleep. And I'm speaking to myself a lot with that, because as a nurse, 4 hours of sleep was like, I did that for decades. So super important. And then of course, exercise. We need exercise to increase circulation. And that's circulation for every organ of our body. I encourage you to speak to Ethan. He will really be able to pull together a program that will be effective for you. And again, he can modify it and help you to increase exercise over time. And even there's a lot that he can show you to do even while you're sitting at home and working at home, where you can really increase your circulation, strategies and tactics. And if you did not see his talk last week, go to Dr. Olson's website. And you can check back and watch that. He had some great tips for us last week. Another tip around managing stress: pick up a hobby, something that you enjoy to do, and then scale back on your to-do list. So build in more you time into your life. If you're struggling with depression and anxiety, Dr. Olson can help you manage that. Lots of strategies that she can help you with in moving toward a more positive direction, both in our body and in our mental outlook in life. Health and wellness is really global. It's every aspect of our life. And if we're not doing a good job of taking care of ourselves, when we get into our later years of our life, we're going to feel that impact much more. So whether you are listening to this today and you are in your 20s or you're in your 60s, you can make positive changes in your life now that are going to help your skin and help your overall wellness. So I guess I'll open it up to questions.
I have a question, Melissa. That was really incredible. I just want to say it's like, I feel like the tips you gave us are tips for wellness in life, not just in our skin. And that's what I love actually about the information that this whole group shares is that it helps everything. It helps our mental state, our skin, and all that. Right. But I wonder if you could go into just a little bit more. I've been a little reluctant about high SPF sunscreens in recent years, hearing about the toxicity that is in some of the commercial brands. And I just wonder if you would, without going too deep, I know some of us here are science geeks, but
yeah.
Just what's the difference between the Melaleuca products? Because I know Melaleuca really has a focus on purity and things that are good for our bodies and good for the planet. And can you talk about that at all?
We do. So it is important. So our skin is the largest organ of our body. And if you're putting chemicals on it, that absorbs I really feel that we're seeing some really good clinical research now. And over the past 20 years, we have seen an increase in diseases like cancers in younger and younger populations. Diabetes, again, in younger and younger. So we're seeing these diseases that really, over time, hugely impact our health and wellness. And there's some pretty good science showing that there's a cumulative effect. And part of that is the products that we put on our skin. So I encourage everyone, do a little research, commit yourself to that ongoing education for yourself. Melaleuca specifically, to get to your question, Kirsten, Melaleuca specifically marries natural nature at its best and science. So there are some really good, healthy things that we have found through science. And Melaleuca's commitment to the safety of products is like their first key component when they look at ingredients that are put into products. So you can be confident with any product that you find at Melaleuca that scientists have looked at those and really vetted that those products and ingredients that are being put into our products are safe. And to add to that and provide the validity piece, because I think that's important, all of our products go out to third parties for testing. So you're not taking Melaleuca's word for it only. You're also taking good clinical research corporations who dedicate themselves to testing products, who are really validating that, yes, these are safe and great to put on your skin. So I would encourage you. There are some other good brands out there. The other difference that I think you'll really see with Melaleuca products is the price point. Melaleuca doesn't do any online advertising. You're not going to see them, on billboards or blasted on TV. They share, wellness is a personal thing from their perspective. It's a way that they really manage their bottom line that allows them to put the money that they need to into the ingredients in the products and not into advertising and marketing. Did that answer your question, Kirsten?
Totally, it did. And I've been aware for years of something called the Dirty Dozen, which are the worst products for skin. So I just encourage people, as you're doing research, to Google the Dirty Dozen and make sure none of it's in your skincare products, because it's all over the place.
I think it's also important to add, specifically to Melaleuca, we are an international company and we are guided by global, the global market in what can and can't, the ingredients that can and can't be put in products. So we hear a lot about the European market, and specifically around makeup and skincare products and all of the things. They have over 1,500 ingredients that cannot go in to a product, otherwise they can't be sold in Europe. But Korea and Japan probably have some even more stringent regulations. We sell Melaleuca in all three of those markets. So for example, when you use our skincare line, and it's a skincare line for men and for women, so it's not just a female-driven product, you'll see different languages on there. That doesn't mean that they were made in those countries. They aren't. They're made here in the U.S. But we do, except for China, I'll put that caveat, we have a manufacturer in China and they sell there in China. But we do sell in Korea and Japan. So if you've done some research and that helps to provide you some confidence around the safety of Melaleuca products, if you haven't done that research, do a little research and help yourself with a little education.
Yeah, thank you so much, Melissa. Such
Yeah.
wonderful tips and touched on so many different aspects of health, which I just love because it's so true. You know, like your nutrition, your digestion all play crucial roles in the health of your skin. And then talking about like sunscreen and, you know, contamination, the toxins and stuff like that. I wanted to just let everyone know about a resource available, the EWG, the Environmental Working Group. They have a place, an actual database where you can look up all of the products or the ingredients in your skin product care or the actual line, and it'll show up on kind of rank it on how toxic is it actually. So that's ewg.org and then /skin deep.
And I am the newest member, and I have not actually met with all of you. So I did a little, you know, undercover research before I talked, but maybe I can ask all of you, are there things around skin care and taking care of our skin that you all offer that I didn't think of or include today? Maybe there are other things. You're going to educate me too on what services you can offer to help people.
With their skin, what we do is we show people how to eat lots of salads. You know, we're Life Changing Dinners, but another name is Salad Master. And I can make some really good salads that are hydrating, like that tastes like a smoothie when you're sitting outside. And so so I just love teaching people how to eat like watery vegetables, especially during this time.
And his salads are amazing. They're fantastic. The other great thing about the cookware is that you're not going to get toxins leaching into your food, which is incredibly important for your gut health, which also then is important for your skin health. So I do a lot of education around gut health, so fixing up people's digestion, if there's underlying infections that might actually be part of the cause. I actually had a patient last week who I ran a test called the GI MAT, which looks for all sorts of things, all the pathogens, if there's bacterial infection. She actually had a protozoa infection. And then also a bacterial infection, which we're thinking is actually a large cause of her skin issues, right? Because if you have an infection in your gut, you can then assume that those toxins and everything are throughout your entire body. And so addressing the underlying root issue of just fixing up her digestion. And I see it so many times where you just fix that and the skin gets better. So many other things get better.
Yeah, the gut is huge, and that was why I included it. And actually, I didn't know that that was a service that you focused on. So that's awesome to know.
Yeah, and I'll jump in here too. Melissa, you were so generously kind of spotlighting some of the Juice Plus products, but there is one research study, gold standard study done on Juice Plus after taking it for 6 weeks, that there's improved microcirculation in the skin. And so, you know, one of the reports that many people have when they start taking Juice Plus is improvements in skin, and people are so delighted because blemishes clear up. And, you know, we know some of that is that it's just helping the toxicity move through the body, but there is actual proof that microcirculation improves. So I have also noticed, although I have not heard any research about it, that since I've been taking and kind of flooding my body with all these phytonutrients, I don't need as much sunscreen as I used to. I seem to have some kind of UV resistance that's built up for me, and that's very anecdotal, but I'm not the first person that's reported that. So maybe that's another research study coming down the pike, who knows.
And I love, you know, I think science is so important, and to have, I think it's important to, one, do the education, do a little research on your own, but really look into, there's a lot out there. And I've told my kids this for years. You can't trust everything that you see on YouTube. I mean, there's some crazy stuff out there. So really look for and educate yourself on products that are backed by science. It's so important. Anyone can say that that their products are fabulous, but to be able to back that up by science that proves it also provides what in healthcare we call the validity behind the claims. So important. Don't just taking people's advice and recommendations for products is awesome. Just do a little research and make sure that it's really the wow that people proclaim it to be. For example, there's a ton on YouTube on makeups and that kind of thing, and they're full of really harmful things for our skin. So research so important.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Melissa, with all those great tips and everybody else on the panel. And that is going to be our Wellness Coalition. I hope to see you guys next week.
Great. Bye.